Hey bees, I'm Marie from Humblebee and Me, and today we are making this beautiful Snowy Dawn Cream Luminizer. It is gorgeous, lightweight, beautiful sort of gold silver color shifting going on. It goes on really smooth with a kind of a powdery dry touch finish that's just really luxy and I love it. Before we dive in, I want to remind you that there is a blog post that accompanies this video, and this is true for pretty much all of my videos that are for recipes. I write it up as well so that you can go read the recipe, read through the instructions, see all of the ingredients in writing. When it's on my blog, I'm able to link to sources for you to get the ingredients, which is super useful, as well as equipment. And I also have a bulleted list at the end of this recipe that's entirely on substitutions and scaling. So please go down to the description box, click that show more link, and click through to check out this recipe on the blog, because there's a ton of extra supplementary content there that is really useful. This luminizer was inspired by the winter walks I've been going on with my dog. We just got out of a really cold snap where we got a lot of cold, like we're talking -40 with wind chill cold here, and a lot of snow. And because I have a dog, I still had to go outside. And so I would get all bundled up and we would go for a walk, and Lottie loves it and was just like frolicking through the snow, and it was pretty cool to see her be so happy even when it was freezing. But it was just the low light that we get at this time of year where the sun just sort of barely pokes above the horizon, and those big lovely snowdrifts. It's really pretty, guys. Like, it's really easy for me to get really irritated with it because it's also cold and kind of a pain in the butt, and I have to get up and shovel my sidewalks, and I don't love those things about snow. But it's so pretty. Like, yes, it's white, but then the light makes it just magic. And so this luminizer is inspired by sort of the beautiful gold hues that it takes on in gorgeous low light right around sunrise and sunset, where you'll look at the snowdrift and you'll see that it's white, like you know that it's white, but in the shadows and catching the light, you get these gorgeous glints of gold. And so to do this, I used a highlight mica from TKB that shifts from silver, like a white silver, to a gold that's just stunning. So here's the product, and so I thought, I'd put a little bit on so you can kind of get a feel for it. There's a swatch of it on the back of my hand at the end of the video too, for a closer and sort of like higher punch application. But I'm just absolutely loving this, sort of on the cheekbones and underneath the brows, and then right in by the tear ducts here. Like, it's just, I just love it. It just catches the light just perfectly, and it's not greasy, and it's really light, and just, really like it. This is really easy to make, but you will need a pretty precise scale. You'll want it to be precise down to 0.01 grams. You can pick up a scale like that for usually $15 or less on Amazon, and I'll throw some links down below so you can see what I have. It works great when you make it in nice small amounts, because 5 grams of luminizer, which is how much we're making today, is a lot of luminizer. It's so much. It's a ton of luminizer. So while you could scale up the recipe so that you don't have to buy a more accurate scale, I think you'll find that you will be putting so much mica, especially into your like larger batch, that it would probably end up being cheaper to just buy a more accurate scale, which, like, I promise you'll use a ton if you have any interest in making cosmetics, because it's brilliant for making small amounts of things. And in the world of cosmetics, small amounts of things is still a lot of things. All right, let's go get luminous. So we're going to start with our jojoba oil, and we'll need 2.48 grams of that. We'll need 0.75 grams of cetyl alcohol, 1/4 gram, 0.25 grams of silica microspheres, and 1.5 grams of mica. So we're going to be doing a blend of these ones. We're going to do 1 gram of this highlight gold, which is this beautiful color shifting mica that's just absolutely stunning. And then we'll be doing 1/4 gram of each, so this sort of white silver and this soft gold. Once you have everything combined, you can give it a stir here and break up any clumps of mica. what we want is we want to be able to easily see when the cetyl alcohol has melted. And so when you eliminate all other clumps, the only clumps or beads that there could be would be the cetyl alcohol. So it makes it easy to see if it's melted through. You also get a bit of a preview of what the color is going to be like, which is absolutely lovely. All right, so to melt this, I have a water bath here. And so this is a wide flat bottom saute pan that has about maybe 1.5 centimeters, like half an inch of water in it. And we're going to pop this in here, and I'm going to go put this on the stovetop over medium heat to melt everything through. Now, if you were doing this at home, I would recommend just doing all of this in the kitchen, because obviously you don't need to do this in a photo or video studio. And then when you're at home, you can preheat this water bath on the stove as you're working and measuring out your ingredients. And then when you pop this dish in here, it'll melt in no time at all, because there's really not a lot in there and the melting point's not very high. So it's probably going to take a little longer for me because this bath isn't preheated, but it still won't take very long. Once everything is melted, you can remove it from your water bath, and we're going to quickly add our vitamin E. So you need 0.125 grams, which is about a drop. Up next is quickly moving it to our container. So I've got a 5-gram plastic jar here, and I've put it on a plate because we're going to move this to the fridge after we pour it, and it's much easier to carry if it is on a plate. Okay. To the fridge we go. After about 10 to 20 minutes, everything is all set up. I have found that this one takes on a bit of a funny appearance as it sets up. Chilling it in the fridge does help sort of reduce that, but in any event, that'll go away with the first time you use it, and it is strictly just strictly a visual thing. It doesn't impact the consistency of the final product at all. But I figured I'd pull out a couple for us to test. So this is the one that I made for the blog, and it looks a little more gold because I sprinkled some gold mica on top of it for the pictures, as you'll see if you go take a look at the vlog. And then this was a test one that I made that's just pure silver. So we can get a bit of swatching going on here. I can't get enough of that color shifting gorgeousness. And then, you can really shear that out and blend it in really nicely so that it's not, not too much for you. But these just, they're so beautiful. They catch the light absolutely beautifully. And they've got a really lovely dry, it's honestly, it's almost like a cream to powder finish. These aren't greasy at all. All of that shine is just from the mica. Ooh, I love these. And there you go. You just made a beautiful Snowy Dawn cream luminizer. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and remember to check the blog entry for the full written recipe and information on where to get all of the ingredients, information on substitutions, and information on scaling. See you next time.